Hi, everyone. Welcome to yet another episode of our bi-weekly webinar. I'm Dr. Fasanya, a pulmonary critical care physician and CEO of Dr. BDZ Capital. So I'm your host today. We have Dr. Ozoude. He's a direct care orthopedic surgeon and CEO of Time Health Capital. Our joint goal is to empower and help fellow physicians and high-income earners achieve financial freedom and time freedom. Our goal in this webinar specifically is to educate and impact our audience with skills and investment knowledge to improve your lives and ultimately achieve financial and time freedom. So we have an exciting episode today. Orion Digital is our guest, and they're a digital company that help businesses address the challenges they face online and in the marketplace. Their foundational marketing products allow businesses to build a stronger presence, connect with more customers, and grow a stronger brand. So we've been using them for the past 6 months, and I can say that they've done what they promised to do. So we have tripled our investor base since we hired them, and we have more leads that I can keep up with. I actually have to block my calendar because I'm setting up my private practice. And so I'm trying to use the same strategy in my other businesses that require lead generation. So it's not just for real estate or real asset. You can use this strategy for any other business as long as it requires you to generate leads and follow them up. And this is why I invited them to educate us and our investors and our colleagues about the power of digital marketing. So this is going to be a Q&A format, and I'd like it to be interactive. Feel free to ask questions in the comment sections. You can also raise your hand, and so we get to you. So yeah, so let's just get started, and let's George do a little bit more introduction and what he's looking forward to in this.
Thank you so much. Yeah, as Bio said, I am an orthopedic surgeon. I've been practicing since 2014 in Houston, Texas. I actually started out practicing with the University of Texas in Houston, kind of an academic community practice combination. And I did that for about 7 or 8 years. Started my own private practice 2 years ago, just past our 2-year anniversary in January. Really got motivated to start that because of what I saw in the corporate medical model, the impacts it was having on both physicians and patients. And I honestly didn't realize I would be an entrepreneur. I thought I'd be a doctor forever. And I thought I'd be in academics as well, go up the academic ladder. But it's very similar to the corporate ladder. And what I realized is I wanted more for my patients. I wanted more for myself and my family. And that's what really motivated me to start investing, looking for alternate streams of income. That became clear to me. That's what I needed. I needed passive streams, alternate streams, multiple streams. And I have a curious mind and started looking at different avenues.
Should be so cool.
And settled on multifamily, medical offices, energy ventures, and agriculture. I dove in, as you can see there. I invested in 25 deals. I'm up to over 4,000 doors across all the assets, and about 1.5 million of earned income, as well as retirement, self-directed retirement funds into these kind of assets. And started my own direct pay private practice. So now I'm free from all the friction. It's just me and my patients. Also got inspired to help other physicians that I know are also feeling the friction. And I started a company for syndicating into deals that I had similar to that I had invested in. So I founded Time Health Capital, and now I've co-managed and co-partnered on 3 deals, averaging up to 5 or adding up to 50 million in assets under management. And I'm really excited about this particular webinar today because I've learned a lot just in those short time frame about how important marketing is. So our guest is going to really share some of that important information with us. So I'll kick it over to him with that.
Hey, thanks a lot, Josh. Thanks a lot, Bio. Let me first, thanks a lot, guys. Beautiful people out here joining us today on weekend. So that's a great input. You're joining us here would definitely make a great value today, whatever the information we're going to put across to you. That being said, myself, Ramesh Tambe, I'm a CEO and founder of Orion Digital. I have total 14 years of experience completely into marketing. Last 8 years, we dedicatedly and very focusedly working for syndication businesses. We also work with a couple of different domain as well, but syndication is something we are more focused on. Last 8 years, we have worked more than 500 plus businesses in syndication, collectively raised more than 2 billion plus capital for all of our clients. And I think most important thing is we are very cutting edge AI driven marketing company. We always have top notch, technology driven new trends being implemented quickly to our client. That is one of the biggest USP of us, you can say. We are a team of more than 70 plus professional altogether. And collectively, I think more than 1,000 plus businesses I have worked so far. So this is what our track record look like, guys. And we'll have a great talk today on entire digital marketing trend which we have. The webinar is all about. To you, Bio, we can get started from there.
Okay, thanks for the introduction. And so we're going to just get right into it. So what many of the people here, many of them are in our investor relations groups, and some are, I can recognize many faces that are like, they also do syndications. So Ramesh, what are the emerging digital marketing trends in 2024 that you think can help generate accredited investors and also help raise capital? What can you do different? What do you do differently? How do you think people should be approaching raising money and also basically doing their marketing?
I think that's really a great question, Bio, to get started with this webinar precisely. Because technology change constantly. Today is something else, tomorrow is something else. Constant changes and digital marketing where, every another day you have new things coming in. So there are a lot to cover. Our today's webinar is not going to be that long. So I'll just stick to few points. I could be like noting down 7 to 8 points. So first top thing which is emerging in entire digital marketing, precisely which we are utilizing for syndication too, is personalization. Personalization, identifying a type of a investor first. So there are different type of investors. You could see passive income investors, foreign investors, residential investors, land investors, commercial investors, beginners, savvy investors. When you think as an investor, it's only an investor. You have to go personalize. Obviously, if you create a content for a land investor, it is going to be a different talk. So it resonate basically. So personalization is one biggest thing which really every company, every organization need to think how personalized you talk. For example, your target audience is specifically doctors. Vishaka, if you can get that ebook which we have created for bio on the screen, that would be great help. So you guys, you can understand this ebook is all about talking how we can help out a physicians. It's all about doctors. We are specifically targeting doctors. We understand that domain, we understand their pain, and we are making a content for them. So personalization is the biggest factor which guys you need to understand and create a content for them. Now if you look around, Vishaka, can you get one more landing page which is a checklist? Look, this is specifically for the people who invest in hotel and resorts. So there is audience who invest in a specific space. That could be a hotel and resort, that could be a land, that could be like alternative investment, all kind of a thing. So you have to create a personalized content for each of that kind of investors who wanted to you wanted to target them. Okay. Now if you look around, there is one more Vishaka webinar which a personalized webinar which we talk about. This is the one, uh, massive in love with real estate. So this kind of a content which is go along with the time, that kind of a thing you have to create and focus on. So personalization of the content, personalized targeting is the most important factor what you have to do. Now second important thing is a conversational AI chatbots. What is a conversational chatbot? It's all about like the way we are doing a conversation right now. A real time person is answering your question. So you have to, there are chatbot where you can train them according to your business. You give them entire information about your entire business, and anyone, a real person come on and he try to ask any question related with the investing, he can answer that because you have trained that. Like the way you go and chat into the chat GPT, put across your query, and you get the real-time answer. A similar experience you can have with AI conversational chatbot, which you can put it on your website, you can put it on your Facebook, you can put it on Instagram. So it's a multi-channel, omni-channel chatbot which you can implement and start grabbing and interacting the users. Okay. Now the third one is AI-driven ABM, LinkedIn. Okay, account-based LinkedIn marketing. So here is another tool which we would like to introduce with Sally Pro. This tool does basically, you have to go and define your targeted investors. Might that could be a doctor, might that they could be a tech professional, might they could be a commercial land investor. Select them, feed them, define that investor. He will identify how much ICP is ideal customer profile. Okay. Hit them. It shows 70-80% match. What is the match look like? Okay, it's a real estate investor. I'm going sending a message to him right away from there. It would be a personalized message. You can define the tone of that message. You can define what he's supposed to write. It can quickly generate the content for that and shoot out. So that kind of a tools you have to implement it, train them basically. That is the most important thing. You have to train them and then push them across. So that's another parameter, guys, you have to consider in emerging trend. Now, fourth thing, interactive experience for investors. What is interaction? So if you have noticed, guys, entirely we are talking all about conversational, interacting, engaging. Now, this is something interactive experience of an investor. Vishaka, can you click that particular lead magnet, a deal analyzer? And this all which we're showing you across, we have created. This is a deal analyzer, okay, precisely where obviously everyone wanted to know how this deal will look like, what is the cash on can return would be look like. If I try and put across some information into it, what it is going to populate. It is more interacting. It's not robot where you go and read it out. So interactive content creation, interactive experience to the investor, which you have to create across with different kind of a lead magnet, which you can present. Now, the fifth point is video marketing, guys. Okay, video is the best thing to come across in 2024 marketing. Trust me, that's the biggest thing which we have to do across into this. Mm, Vishaka, can you get that video marketing? One video which we have created for our client. Look at the video content, the way it has been. Play the voice. You will understand what it is. Vishaka, volume. I can't hear the voice. The voice is not there.
Really smash into a million pieces. So as an investor, you shouldn't be dealing with toilets, electrical problems, paint, patching holes in the walls. You don't want to buy yourself into a job. You're trying to invest. But a lot of people like myself made that mistake in the beginning. Now we buy large multifamily assets across the South and Southeast. We no longer deal with the small problems or the tenants. We have large assets. We don't have to worry about that stuff. We manage the property manager, not the tenant. It's a much safer, better place to be. The larger the real estate, the more stable it is. So now we accept investors in our large multifamily in these markets, and we'd love to have you a part of it. If you're interested, get in touch with us. You know the ways to do it, and we'd love to jump on a call with you to discuss your investment opportunities.
Look this, guys, the kind of a content created, the kind of a video created, push across, it attract. It is a pain-driven content. What basically a pain, a problems investors are facing. Cleaning a toilet, obviously, no one wanted to do that. No, everyone want to have the time freedom. Talk about that thing through the video. Create those kind of a video which grab the user attention, the investor's attention. They will watch themselves and they will forward as well. So it is a huge positive impact of video creation altogether. So video marketing is the biggest thing again. Now the sixth point is influencer marketing, collaboration. Lot of brands do that into a different sector. Now, in investing, if you really wanted to quick things, you wanted to enlarge your brand in a quicker time of a period, you have to collaborate with the investors, with the influencer who dealing into the investing space, who talk about the investing factors, who give the tips to the people. So obvious those influencers have their follower who are looking for an investing opportunity, who wanted to increase their knowledge on the investing, obviously. So if I'll show you across this particular one, like, influencer. Can you get this? One example of an influencer. Check this. Investing mentor. Okay. This kind of an influencer who has 1.5 million follower, if you collaborate with this particular influencer and try to talk with him, you got an exposure of 1.5 million. Forget about 1.5 million. If you get even 50K, huge. It just within a 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks of a time period. This is what we have to do. Get in the collab with the people who have the bigger eyeball of the investors and people. So identify micro and macro influencers, collab with them, and try to produce a content and push that across. We get a bigger audience with that. So influencer marketing is another big thing which really create a huge impact. This two influencer is the example how you can identify influencer. You really need to be very cautious identifying what kind of an influencer you're collaborating with. If you don't identify right influencer and you collab with them, the result will not be implemented. The most important thing, guys, I wanted to make a point over here. Everything you do, how you do it, how you implement it, how you tweak that, how perfectly you implement that, and again check you did it correctly or not. The success is entirely depend upon that. So theoretical and practical, they're two different things. So implementing this particular trends is much more important how keenly you implement that. 7 point, AI based automations in streaming communication and marketing workflows, basically a CRM. So if you implement a latest AI based driven CRMs, specifically go high level nowadays, they're really making a big changes, big impact. So those kind of a CRM, AI driven CRM, where you have a auto messages, auto content created for a text and everything, those kind of a CRM has to be into the place. The most important again is mobile first strategy. All the users nowadays which come across are coming completely 90% of users from mobile. So target mobile users. So create content which is mobile driven. All content which you do it has to mobile responsive. Your reel, your videos, your graphics, your website, your landing pages, each and everything has to relate with the mobile first. And the last which I wanted to cover today is hyper focus ads. Ads is one method which where you go ahead and you target investor very precisely. Okay, you, as I mentioned, you can target landowners, you can target newbies investors, you can target commercial investors. So there are different platforms out there. Through that you can go and specifically target those investors, so your life become pretty easy. So you get them into your system, or you at least show you exist. First time showing an ad to a particular investor is never going to work. Second time showing an ad to any investor, never going to work. It has to be a consistent effort. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. How consistently you show up. It's all about consistency everywhere. I think it's very go align with the digital marketing as well. That if you want to success, you consistently have to do things. Same thing. If you want to success with the digital marketing in your business, do things consistently. So this is one thing like bio. These are the few 9 points which I would like to cover in emerging trends for at least for next 3 to 6 months, which we really need to focus on. After maybe 2 to 3 months, again, there are few new things will come in, which we would love to introduce and implement. Bio.
That's a lot of great points in short time frames. I've definitely been a recipient of this. The video, I'm still working on it. They always send me like 5 or 7 videos to make, and I probably make 2 or 3. So
Okay.
it takes effort from your side too. You have to actually make the video to send to them, and then they will splice it up and make it look good.
Yeah,
So
I'll tell you a quick good idea for that. Why how you need to do this. You doesn't need to sit every day to do that. Okay. Identify one day in an entire month. Give it 2 hours. Okay. Sit for 2 hours. make that all content in that to us and send back to us. So you doesn't need to sit every week for doing that content and that kind of a thing. Sit for a 1 hour, sit for a half an hour in an entire month, make this all content, send back to us. We'll take care of everything by you. It's as simple as it is.
Yeah, I try to wear different clothes. I just don't want
Yes.
to be the same. Maybe I should stop thinking too hard. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
I should dress different. I should shave and go to do what. Those are the barrier. I want to
Yeah.
be perfect for that.
Yeah. So, by will that being said, I have one question to ask you.
Yeah.
As a medical professional, I always think, see, I'm a technology people. If somebody come and ask me to implement something related with medical, I go blank. No, I go blank, absolutely blank. How to do this, man? So, as a medical professional, how did you implemented this digital marketing strategies in your syndication business? What challenges have you faced, and how did you overcome on it? Would you like to tell our audience about this?
Yeah, thank you. So, as a physician, right, our expertise, right, is taking care of patients. We're good at that, and we have track records, right? We already do a lot of training, and getting into real estate syndication or even real assets and being an operator. My focus was investor relations, right? Because you want to get the deal, you want to basically get investors for the deal, and then you have to do the asset management. So it's a lot of work, right? Even so, my first strategy first is how do I keep track of all this? In the beginning, it was easy, right? You have 50 investors. With that, you can keep track. You have an Excel sheet. You could say, okay, have I called this person? Let me text this person. I started a WhatsApp group. But then the investor base grew. Now, after I got to over 300, then it's, time is number one. And then my first strategy was, let me hire individual people. So I hired assistants to try to do it. Okay. But there's multiple aspects of marketing. They have to do social media. That's number one. There's articles, writing articles to post, to blog post. And then there's video editing, creation, the webinar. Somebody have to do it and also cut it and then change it to reels. So it seems there's a lot. So I keep hiring and try to hire and hire until I talk to a bunch of people, and eventually they're like, there are teams out there that just handle the whole thing instead of you having to basically hire individual. And the truth is, if I have wanted to hire someone to do my slide decks, someone to do my social media individually, then you have to hire someone. You pay like $30,000 here, $40,000 here,
My God. Oh my
$60,000
God.
here. It's highly costly. So at the end, so I interviewed multiple companies. Eventually, came down to you guys to be like, okay, can you guys? I was skeptical at first, obviously, because I was like, is it possible for a team to be able to handle all these things? At first, I also go high level by myself. I have it with with Raj company, and then but then it became too much to actually track investors. That's one thing that I feel like many syndicators are leaving money on the table by not tracking and following. So what happened to me was I would have talked to an investor that said, "Oh, I have $500,000. I'm talking about a good amount of money that I want to invest." But the truth is, I don't follow up. I never really end up. And a year later, I finally found the email somewhere. I'm like, "Oh my God!" Then I go and find that. I go and find that person and try to call and connect back. Half of the time they
And
reply, half of the time they just think you're not serious.
yes.
So having a strategy to basically get in the leads, number one, that's not the problem. Now we're against so much leads, but then you need to be able to keep track of them, find out exactly what each person wants, and then have an automation to be like, okay, I keep track of this person once a month. I keep track of this person once a week. Somebody's bringing $1 million. Keep track of them like every day if I have to.
Exactly.
So you need to have a strategy and systems in place. Yeah, so that's most of the challenges. Basically, there's so many things to do, and basically you can't do it all. So you basically need to focus on which part of the business are you best at or are you good at. and stop spending your time doing things that, like cutting video. I've done all this myself too. At one point,
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Do my own things, try to do my own reels, and you're gonna end up with a bad reel and also wasting so much time. So that's my own point. I hope I answered your question.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's what nowadays it's always, if you want to really reach somewhere in a systematic manner, people says hire a mentor, okay, and go with him. So you don't need to do everything on your own, basically. You do the thing which you are at best at. Start doing that thing. So you have really analyzed over a period of a time that, okay, this was the issue basically you have faced and you learned out of it. That is a great part, bio. And that's why you are scaling up basically, I think.
Yeah. I do have Sonia ask me that which parts do you focus on first? In the beginning, depending, I really think you need to know every part of the business. Don't get me wrong. You should understand every single part of your business, right? In the beginning, I was analyzing deals, underwriting, finding the deal, then asset managing it, and also finding investors, talking to investors. And it was a lot of work, right? Then eventually, I found out that I really enjoy the investor relations part of it. The part I enjoy the most is, talking to investors. I could outsource that too. You could hire investor relations officer to be doing that, which I will. Actually, that's the next step. But I actually do enjoy it. So I keep that. But then I get somebody to find the deal, somebody to underwrite the deal, right? And then I look at the deal, and then you hire property managers. So you can do that. And also the marketing part of things, as much as I actually do enjoy writing articles, my LinkedIn was the most difficult one for me. I still write some of my LinkedIn because I just feel like I want my voice. And it's a tough control to let go because you'll be like, man, people are going to feel like it's not genuine. So I keep doing it. But after you keep up writing it every single day and replying to all the comments and replying to everybody in the messaging. So it's tough. So what I'm going to say is that I would say learn everything about the business, but as you scale, you know for yourself. If you're starting to stay up till midnight every night, you need to look at your business and see what are the parts that I feel like I could pay somebody like $15 an hour or cheaper, especially if they're a foreign company, right? You can hire virtual assistants, a team like Orion to handle it. So that's all I do. And then when you think you've done that, you grow again to a certain level again, and now you find out you're still staying till midnight again, then you find something else. So you keep doing that over. And I don't think it's a never-ending process, really, because you're going to continue to scale. So that's my answer to that. So learn everything, find what you enjoy, focus on what you enjoy, outsource the rest.
I think of that book, E-Myth, that we've all read, or many of us have read, that talks about working on the business as opposed to in the business. And how you have to get to a point where you just can't expect everyone to do everything like you've done it 100%. You have to start to accept 80%. And that's actually going to help you go farther. You're not going to go as far as if you expect everyone to do everything exactly the way you did it. That was a huge takeaway. And that's what Bio was saying reminds me of. When it's not exactly your voice, or it's not exactly how you would have underwritten it, or how you would have had a one-on-one call, but you have to let go of those reins and let the systems build so that you can actually scale, and then you scale back. And now you're not working in the business, you're working on the business.
That's great. George, you asked me a question like that's, are there AI videos now? So that's a good question, George. Let me answer you. See, investor, if you wanted to target an investor, 1000%, you really wanted, you have to make video which is, you are visible. He's not going to invest along with two AI face. 1000%. See, try and see, there is a AI video. You're just gonna watch it for a fun and probably not gonna invest. So AI videos are there, but for an investing section, you really need to go You have to be there on the face and create those videos. AI videos, again, the kind of a quality it gives to you, the kind of a content it gives to you is not up to that mark. It has to yet to be at that particular level, guys, specifically for AI videos. But AI videos can be utilized for a different domain, different verticals, e-commerce, where you have a services product. But investing is something is all about trust. It's all about credibility. Trust and credibility cannot be created by, obviously, people, 1,000 times people think when clicking on any suspicious link. So it's as simple as it is. Any investor would not love to talk with the AI and invest along with them. So my suggestion over there for the AI videos is not for the syndication and investing domain, 1,000%.
Very interesting. I brought that question up because Bio mentioned just like the kind of scaling up the amount of videos that he can produce, like the reels, the shorts, the 2 to 5 minute videos. And I'm seeing like just news of these AI simulations of yourself that people are starting to incorporate. And I'm wondering, just is that, like you said, can it be something that's more hurtful or not as helpful? Even though it looks like you, it sounds like you, these things are impressive. And I'm sure you know what I'm specifically referring to, right?
Yep. Exactly. I understand that point,
Yeah.
uh, George. I think that's true. But as I said to you, again, going back to the basics, this tool can be utilized for a different businesses. You can use this tool for fasting the process, probably trim it. There is a technical part of the video with a technical language. While you have a video, cut them, you have to put a subtitle to it. For that purpose, you can utilize it for, but don't give the AI face to the video and create those kind of videos, George. Yeah,
Good one.
good.
So I
So
had
I
a
think,
question for you. When you talked through your 9 points, you mentioned about hyperfocus.
yep,
And is there any specific hyperfocus method for targeting and attracting the investors?
absolutely. There are 4 ways right now which we are specifically utilizing, George, for targeting hyper-focused investors. So one way, let's say, for example, you have a deal or you have an ebook or where you specifically wanted to promote something. You have to, as I said previously as well, investing and getting investors on your deal is all about building a credibility, building a trust. So, in order to win investor trust, what you have to do is you have to be with the credible people. You have to be, your voice has to be there, your visibility has to be there. And in order to create that visibility, go collab with the investors or industry thought leaders on the podcast. You don't need to go and invent the podcast, but you can be a guest on that podcast. Okay. Identify the top podcasters specifically who are into the investing space precisely. So might be many of you guys might be knowing Bigger Pocket is one of the podcasts. Then Focus Compounding, Top Trend Unplugged. These are the few. We Study Billionaires is the another biggest podcast. Okay. We need to collab with those kind of podcasters. Go talk with them your journey, how you have been here, what you are doing, how you are helping the investors. They do keep talk with you. So obviously their followers is all gonna be having the eye on you, and that create a credibility, that create a trust all along, and that's the hyper focus targeting to that particular investors. It's all investor base. If they have 100K followers, obviously the people who have interest into the investing, they're going to be following, they're going to be downloading, they're going to be watching it all across. The second thing, you have a deal, you have a fund promote, or you have an ebook or any webinar to promote where you want to grab this leads for. There are many newsletters out there, okay, which are specifically related with a real estate industry. Vishaka, can you get those few newsletters which are having the database of thousands and thousands of real estate investors? Okay, here you can publish your content with the paid advertisement. These guys are having minimum more than 100K of an investor list. So if you publish your content on this, they get the eyeballs on it. Okay. Either they click on it if your deal is really making sense, Okay, you are offering some sort of a good kind of a trust. They'll click on it, they'll come to your deal landing page, understand about it, and try to learn more about it. So hyper focus targeting with this CRE Deal Pro newsletters. Precisely, so there are many companies like this where we can attach them, collab with them, reach out to them, and get our content published along with them. Third point, promotion of deal webinar on the real estate influencers and Instagram. So let's say, as I said a moment back, we have showed across you few influencers how to collaborate with them. Again, the influencer are playing a great role in moving on. Every influencer have their own followers, and they are from a particular niche, from a particular background. Okay, so get them, collab with them. Okay, the cost of getting collab with the influencer is also not huge, guys. So that in a quicker time of a period, you also get attract to the investors, to your content, to your deal, and get a quick time duration, and you can scale up. So that's the hyper focus targeting for the investors altogether. The fourth point is web talks and collab with cross industry expert. Okay, so what does this cross industry expert look like? Vishaka, can you get that landing page up now? So if you look self-directed IRA, okay, a lot of people invest with self-directed IRA. Okay, this is again a type of an investor which you are targeting. Now, if I wanted to have self-directed IRA investors into my list, or they start looking my content, what I have to do is what we have done for one of our client. We have collab with this guy. We pulled him on the webinar. He's a VP of the IRA club. Vishaka, you can get that image out there, the content which we put for a promotion. So yes, this is a webinar. We are we're pushing across his pick. He is a IRA club VP. So people who are following him, looking him, no, obviously gonna get to our webinar, gonna talk about it, gonna think about it. This is a web cross collabs with the different audience. Go and get different people on your webinar, or go on a different audience podcast and get their audience from there. But most important thing is getting and identifying that collaborator. Who is your right collaborator? As we identify this IRA VP, okay, you can identify early retirement planners who look after for that precisely. Financial managers, asset managers, a thing who specifically manage this across. So those kind of a cross industry expert, we have to go get them onto our webinars or the podcast and talk with them. Obviously, you are attracting a right audience to your funnels, to your pipelines. George. So these are the few ways. There are many, like you can't cover everything. These are the four things which we are currently pushing across, and we are getting a very positive outcome out of it. They're new, basically. They're very new.
I like the theme, the underlying theme that's connecting all, what sounds like most of these methods is this collaboration aspect, right? Just
Yes.
leverage the networks of other people, right? To make
Yep.
more connections. And
Exactly.
I've heard that before, specifically regarding podcasts. It's a heavy lift to make your own, but it actually might be more efficient to just guest appear on different podcasts, because now you open
Ex-
yourself up to broader audiences, still
Exactly.
connected, still related, so still important for your focus, but broader than you would have gotten on your own.
Exactly, Josh. So you got that right away. So, Josh, with that being said, I also have a question for you. Can you discuss a challenging situations you encountered in digital marketing campaigns, and have you addressed that specifically in your day-to-day life, kind of a thing, Josh?
Absolutely. I can definitely share my experience. It's still an evolving experience,
Mm-hmm.
as I have started out just doing the heavy lift on my own. What Bio mentioned, what physicians are familiar with, we're familiar with not trusting anyone and just working by yourself. And so I started with in-person events just to get the muscle, I call it, of being in front of people, telling your story, asking them their story. So I did a lot of meetups in person. I did a lot
Mm-hmm.
of casual nights of doing like a game night, financially focused literacy kind of game night, and just getting people together in the same space. But then I realized I need to go beyond that and reach broader markets, not just my immediate area. And so I saw the importance of getting on social media and getting email lists and putting content out. So then I started adding on webinars. So I started doing that with Bio, started doing more posts. I really discovered LinkedIn because of this. I never thought I'd use LinkedIn as much as I do now. And that is absolutely a great platform now, I see. But started posting more, started to try to create newsletter, started to create the WhatsApp group. So this is all technology, digital based type of, but what I ran into, what I just bumped my head into was this bandwidth issue, particularly with social media, because that game is a game of consistency. Like you said, you got to consistently put out the content. Yeah. And you have to, it's not just a small post. Sometimes it's a big post. Sometimes there's video, there's different ways, there's reels, there's shorts, there's all different types of ways to put it out. And so now I'm learning just something completely brand new to me. I'm also finding out you have to comment on other people's posts to gain visibility. You have to reply to the comments that come from your post. And to me, that started just burning through all my bandwidth. And I noticed I would go through waves of peak motivation, and I would just post and post. And I actually felt like my posts resonated because I'm the type that I wanted to be very authentic. But then I would go through the ebb, like the down cycle, where it's just, there's nothing that calls me, that motivates me at those moments. Maybe it'll be a month or 2 months, but that's a problem. That's like, all right, you're not only failing on consistency, but it's a question mark too. It's like, all right, why did he disappear? Why, or not even, they probably don't even think about you. They just forget about you.
Exactly.
And so I think one of the highlights on the opposite end, one of the highlights is that the webinars that we do, Bio and I do, have just been consistent. We've consistently showed up. And I think I've noticed that folks comment on that fact that they've been following the webinars versus, say, like my LinkedIn posts or my other social media posts. I don't notice is not getting as much traction. And I think that's because of the consistency thing. That relates to not having systems in place and not really knowing how to fully leverage those platforms. And so that's where I'm now mitigating. Before I didn't really know or trust, but now I'm starting to vet these operators of go high level systems, of marketing funnels, drip campaigns. You need help, you need professional help. And so that's how I'm now starting to mitigate. So now I'm working with a team, trying to roll out a coaching program with Bio. And this is my first time diving in. I've seen him blaze the trail and seeing the success. And now I'm starting to become that believer and bringing in professionals to help with that side of the business, because it's crucial, especially for what I'm particularly trying to do. I'm trying to be investor relations. And that's really a marketing and sales business. That's teaching, that's education, educating people and giving them the confidence to invest alongside you. So
Great. That makes sense, George. I think I've really, that kind of a journey is an important factor, that what Bio as already mentioned, learning that and then adapting to that particular situation quickly and moving to the next level, George, that you have done immensely. Great move altogether, George. So I see Francisco is asking a question with regards to SEC compliances. What mechanism do you have in a place with your marketing material? Dr. Francisco, if to answer that question, you there? Hello? He can unmute if he want, Bio.
yep, he's there.
So answering that particular question, it's very simplified. We write a disclaimer for that particular thing, okay? That a disclaimer is all along compliance with the SEC rules and regulation. We send that disclaimer to you. You walk that disclaimer through your attorney, okay? And then it's all set. we put across that disclaimer on all the content, like basically into the footer of your website, the landing page which we create across, and it come ultimately safeguard you from SEC straight away. Dr. Francisco, I hope that answer your question. If you're there, you can ask if you have any more question on that. Cool, George. So I think that being said, to you, Bio now.
Yeah, I think it's been very interactive and was answered a lot of questions. And yeah, thanks for educating us. If you guys have any more questions, you can actually just come up and or raise your hand or type it in the comment. And because this is an opportunity, because you have a professional that can answer your questions. And we have lots of also people. I think Trevor actually used Orion, right? I think.
Right.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
What do you have to say?
Yeah, no, it's great. Thank you. Yeah.
So far, in terms of your marketing, in terms of what was your progression? How did you come to the realization that what I need to outsource this?
Yeah, it was just, again, it was working on the business instead of in the business. So it definitely doing that, just keeping the engagement up, put all the systems in place. It's a great way to get to the next level, but it doesn't do all the work for you. So you still need to post engagements. You still need to answer people's other posts, make comments. I'm sure you, George, and I comment on your guys. I'm a big supporter. It's why I show up here. So that kind of engagement is really important. In fact, probably the most important.
Yes, because I have like we have posts, I send it to them and they will schedule it, right? To go on. But then there are some questions, even if you get some people to do some commenting for you, there are some that you suddenly see that is very personal. Like somebody commented and say, oh, I met you in Nigeria 15 years ago and something like that. Nobody can answer that comment. So you need to still be aware, know what's going on and still, so there's no substitute to the grind. I always tell people, no matter what you do as a business person, entrepreneur, you still need to do the grind, but you can at least outsource many components of it out to free yourself as much as possible. You've chosen this lifestyle that you will consistently, and even if you just do investor relations, like I thought, well, if I just talk to investors, that's my only part of this job, I'll be okay. But then more investors came, then I cannot even keep up with that. So eventually I need to duplicate myself. I need to go hire someone now again to also talk to investors on my behalf. So you're just gonna keep going, and then you're gonna have that's gonna be full too. You're gonna need somebody else again. So, and it's good. It's good. It's growth.
I have a question for Ramesh related to that. You end up deciding to hire somebody, but you still have to vet that person, just like any other team member you bring in. You have to vet the marketing team that you bring in. How do folks on the call here actually vet that the marketer has a good track record or is capable, competent? What's that process look like? Because I imagine not all of them are built equal.
So George, is there a question like how to identify the right marketer for your syndication business or kind of a
Not
thing?
just the right one, but within that, but just one that can actually achieve what they say they do. They're legit. How to make sure they're legit.
Yeah, they have their legit. So I think first of all, the most important factor to identify how they're legit is obviously their track record, George. No, I can talk a number of things, but when Bio has a real-time experience about our services, specifically, Trevor is here. Trevor has a real experience about our services. Then Raj also have joined. He is also have a real-time experiences about our services. We have achieved great result for them. So when you have a great real-time experience from their past customer, if you talk with them and they have really a great experience working with them, that's the one factor obviously which every business or anyone who wanted to hire any vendor, not digital marketing vendor itself or any vendor, they really need to talk with the few of their customers and understand, how their process work, what challenges they have faced, or what is their experience all about. That's the one thing, because that will define the legitimate or not, George. That is the first factor. See around, go and check the kind of a content they are creating for their client, how their design look like. Those factors are also parameters. Checking their work, what they have done in the past. That work, secondary parameter. Second one, which they really need to identify before they hire that marketing partner for them. And third thing, they should, the most important thing, whoever they are hiring, they should passionate about what they're doing in. Let's say what we are doing, we are passionate about what we wanted to do for our client. My entire team is passionate about helping our client to give a better experience while working with them, create a content for them, the value, what kind of a value we are providing to them. So understanding whether the team is passionate or not. If the team is passionate, I think you will have a really great idea. Like, because if I come on a call, I talk with you, okay, I deliver a number of things, but my team also be a passion, need to be a passionate, okay, the one who is delivering, okay. So at, oh, so if you're passionate, obviously your team is going to be passionate as well. So passionate team members, that's the another factor which might they can consider as well. So these are the three factors. I think anyone who is hiring a marketing partner or a partner in their business, they really need to see these things. Price is the secondary factor. I always believe price is the secondary factor. You never compare. If you want a quality of a work, you want to get great result and great output, just first check out these things and make sure whatever you do with them, you wanted to, like, let's say for example, you have defined something with them that, hey, look, this is what I'm expecting from you guys to achieve in terms of goal, month on month. Put that on black and white, that okay, this is what my expectation is. I want 50 leads every end of the month. They achieve 50 leads, good, that's great. Now again, second point is, are they qualified or not? There are further point of it, but this is how, before you get started with them, define the goal as well, and then check up on that goal on a monthly basis. Are they achieving that goal or not? If they achieve, you're always happy. Yes, I'm working with the right partner. That's how it resonates, George.
Awesome.
Yep.
Yeah. We also have a KPI we
Yeah.
follow every week. Every week, I think we're like 59 leads a week, close to 50 to 59 a week. But we run ads. We run about $1,000 a month of ads. And you can step it up. Once you figure it out, once you figure out your ads, you can literally double your ads. It's interesting how you just learn how the game is after a while. Why people are just in your face all the time, like Grant Cardone. Everywhere you go, it's like following you. They just run ads like crazy. And the thing is, sometimes it's a matter of just money. Sometimes, if you run 5,000 ads a month, you can 5x what you're doing, but with the right targeting, right? With the right targeting. So we are able to do that. And I told them, stop the ad for a month or something, because I just don't have time to meet with these people. Yeah, so you can dial it up and dial it down once you figure out the formula after a while.
Yes, I think John have a question. What is a good budget to have for a marketing company? Obviously, I think John, I would love to answer that question. What could be the good marketing budget? So that, as Bio was explaining that budget is entirely depend upon you. Okay, what budget you want to keep it? Okay, but what goal you want to achieve. You wanted to have at the end of the year maybe 1,000 investors. Let's say you can investor list, not an investor list probably, or end of 6 month you wanted to have somewhere between 300 to 400 investors in your list. Depending upon your marketing budgets are being defined precisely. And I think Bio has put across 2,500 to $5,000 a month is a good budget to have a marketing company. We, like, if you ask us, we have made some sort of a thing where we talk about customized budget as well. Do things which fit in your budget too, and try to deliver that value, John. So obviously, good companies brand comes with a higher cost. If you go for Gucci, if you go for LV, they they're highly high cost is there. So that is there, but I think somewhere you can start with $1,000, you can start with a $1,500 kind of a thing, John, and you can start getting a marketing company from that range as well. Probably depend upon the scope of work, what you want, get it done, John. That's the answer to your question.
So you have to know that the ads is separate.
Yeah,
So
yeah, exactly.
so if you pay 1,500 even, then you run 1,000 ads a month, or 2,000. So it depends. Most people run between 10 to 15% of their revenue in ads. So if your revenue is $1 million, you could easily run $100,000 in ads.
Yeah.
That's a great point to bring up. It's not just the amount you pay for the marketing team. What we've probably found out is there's also these additional costs to support the whole marketing effort, right? You're going to budget in the website, you know, someone has to actually operate the system. If it's not, you may have to hire, I've heard of online business manager, OBM, who has the expertise. You can hire potentially a VA. So it's good to talk with someone like Ramesh, and they should be able to give you
absolutely
all the supporting things that you're going to need, all the supporting expenses, give you a list of that, not just the cost to hire the consultant.
Absolutely. So, guys, anyone have any other questions? We would really love to answer your questions and give a value to everyone. It not just for us. I think other people can also get a value from your question as well.
So now you can reach out to me or George,
Yep.
and then we'll get the information to you also.
Yes.
But, okay. It's been 8 minutes past 12, so it's been enlightening. I also learned a lot because this is evolving space in terms of, and that's another reason why it's difficult to hire people yourself, because you can hire a digital designer, you then hire a social media manager, and then you hire a VA, and then hire like a blog writer. You can do all that, but then you have to keep up almost with the guidelines and things are changing. But yeah, and also you can use it for other things, right? So that's actually the part that I love, is the fact that I'm trying to think about, actually I'm starting an holistic kind of functional medicine program. And I'm actually going to use exactly the same strategy. Run ads, get leads, talk to leads, follow them up. Exact same strategy.
I'm starting an orthopedic lifestyle medicine service line in my practice, and I see this fitting right in. It's amazing.
Absolutely.
Thanks
I
everyone
think
for coming. And then I'm going to end the webinar now. And then now, George, we're changing to Wednesdays. Is it from next time?
Yes. So just an announcement, and we'll send out other emails and notifications. But our Saturday webinar is going to now switch to a Wednesday bi-weekly webinar. And then even after that, we're going to go to a weekly webinar because we want to continue giving out consistent content.
that's true, Josh. That's great.
Stepping up.
Yep.
Okay.
It's time.
Okay. Take care, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Bye.
Bye-bye.